Welcome to Apartment Syndication Made Easy podcast, where we simplify the world of syndication. Join us as we unravel the complexities and provide you with valuable insights to help you invest smartly. Get ready to take your investments to the next level, one episode at a time. Here's your host, Mr. Vini Smiles Chopra.
Hi guys, hey, Vinny's back with all the great contents, and I've got a great speaker, Stacy Grace here in the house. We're going to hang around, and remember, this is the sequel to the Apartment Syndication Made Easy book that I wrote, and we're going to have so much great value. I'm going to introduce Stacy, and we're going to dig into her superpowers. So Stacy, welcome. And she's from Austin, Texas. We were just reminiscing, talking. I bought in COVID a property there, 307 units, 34 million. I'm not selling any securities or anything, guys. You can't invest in that deal because it's already sold and everything. But that 34,750 is 61 million now. In 2 years, in just 2 years. Yeah. It boggles my mind. But let me kind of go ahead, Stacy, and introduce you formally. I love it. You said owner of Organized to Scale trademark. I love it. And about Stacy Gray, wonderful lady, has over 2 decades of experience organizing real world businesses to scale up. Come on, guys, listen to this one. You want to really save this episode because it's going to really take your business to the next level. She puts an emphasis on quickly collapsing the gap between ideas and profits by persistently executing for the progress and results. Oh, I love it. We're going to have so much fun, Stacy. Stacy envisions a world where innovative leaders are no longer trapped by operational chaos, which is every time happens, CEOs and presidents, and instead are empowered to efficiently and effectively solve real world problems, impact real people on human level, and generate profits quickly. Stacy loves coming alongside with mission-driven leaders who are using their ideas, influence, and intellect to build successful businesses and empowering them to scale without losing their sanity, compromising values and everything. I am so excited, and let's talk about it. Stacy, so tell me who Stacy Gray is.
I'm so great to be here with you, Vinny. So I actually grew up in a very entrepreneurial home. We were talking earlier about how my grandfather came over from the Philippines when he was 14 years old and built a company and took it public.
Look at that.
And he really invested in my father to be very entrepreneurial as well. And so my father is a great, successful entrepreneur.
Yes.
And when I graduated high school at 16, I had the opportunity to go work in my father's business. He didn't want me to go to college. He said, "You're too young. I don't want to send you off to college when you're 18. If you still want to go, you can go, but I want you to come work for me." So I started answering the phones for him in his business. And I would say within 6 months, probably less, I said, "I don't want to answer the phones anymore. I don't like it. This is boring. I want to go on and do something else." And he said, "That's fine. You can, but you have to hire and train your replacement." He handed me the book E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
Oh, yes, I read it. Oh, amazing book. E-Myth. Guys, if anybody has not read it, it's a great book to go back to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about putting processes and procedures in place, operational disciplines, being able to duplicate yourself.
Yes.
And I think that was one of the best gifts I could have been given, was the opportunity to hire and train my replacement. But what I realized is that as I did that, I hired and trained my replacement, I then had to manage them and lead them. And so then I became obsessed with, how do I get the best out of people? How do I create environments and cultures that excel versus erode or demotivate? And I spent a lot of time developing that, eventually became the president of that company. And then we decided that I would step away, and I went and built a couple of other companies. And then my mother was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in 2014.
Oh, wow.
And my father called me and said, hey, can you come back and run all of the family companies again? And I said, yes, but I want freedom too.
Yes.
I don't want to be in the business at all. So I'm going to set up this whole structure and system and people and get it all dialed. And so I did that. And we were able to spend the last 18 months of my mom's life with her. I was there when her soul transitioned. And then when not only that, our businesses were more profitable and they were more freeing for us because we had all the right people in the right seats on the bus. And
wow.
In place.
Oh my gosh, so true what you're just saying. I'm so sorry about your mom, and, God bless. The thing is, a lot of times, see, I've like 6 companies now. And if I get out of the way, it's a better thing because the other people who we are entrusting them to do their job, we clobber them, literally. Yes. We should give them goals and aspirations and vision and step out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And what's so great is we did that and we came back and they were like, oh, this is working so well. Let's start more businesses. So that's
I love it. Oh my gosh. So let's see, what's the superpower then if you're teaching my audience? If they have business, they're struggling, they're losing sleep and everything. So what do you go after? As you're sitting down with them for some, sessions, let's say.
Sure.
I think that
our audience is very familiar with real estate, so they'll appreciate this example. So we build businesses in 3 phases. Step 1 is the architect phase. Mm-hmm. And in the architect phase, it's where the visionary, who is usually the person who has the idea for the business, they partner up with a design team. And they architect the business and basically complete the business blueprint. How do we want this business to run? What do we want it to do for us financially? What do we want it to do for us from a lifestyle perspective? Mm-hmm. And then once we have that blueprint, it gets passed to the build team. And the build team is like the general contractor who then aggregates the tools and the resources and the materials to build the essential infrastructure that is needed to actually scale the business. Mm-hmm. And then after we build it, we gets passed to the operate team. And that's basically like your tenants and your property managers who basically maintain it and keep it running. What we found when we were originally doing businesses, before we knew about this concept and developed this concept, is we would hire people who were meant to be day-to-day operators and ask them to architect or ask them to build. And they just couldn't do it. They weren't qualified to do it. Right. And the opposite too is sometimes we would hire people who were even qualified to architect or build and ask them to do day-to-day maintenance work. And most people who architect and build don't want to be doing day-to-day maintenance work. So it really opened our eyes to getting the right people in the right seats and following this methodology. So there was a solid foundation to scale without losing or imploding under the pressure of growth.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Wow. No, that's very exciting. What you're saying is so true.
Hi, you are listening to Syndication Made Easy podcast. We will be right back after this short break.
Hi, thank you so much. This is Vini Chopra, and thank you for subscribing to my podcast and YouTube channel and Facebook pages and all the great things, and LinkedIn. Connect with me. I come live to you every Friday at 9 Pacific with Vini and Bo show. Please also look at that. And also the podcast, which is my Apartment Syndication Made Easy. The book I wrote a couple of years back became international top seller on Amazon International now. And then we like to bring great guests for you every week or twice a week sometime to give you a lot of great knowledge. So please subscribe. You give us 5-star reviews on the iTunes. The better the guests we can, bring, and our ranking will go higher also. Thanks again for following us. And really getting the most out of it, please comment, like, share, because we would love to bring better and better material for you. Wow, no, that's very exciting. What you're saying is so true. Everybody brings with them their history, their skills, their experiences. And if you put the right people, in the right spots, they will excel like crazy.
Yes.
Not everybody can do everything. And then by putting them in with standard I love automations and standard operation, SOPs, we call it, operating, procedures and written out so that if somebody does want to move up in the ladder, I had 153 people full time in my organizations, in managing and buying and all this. So, no, I see your point. So let me take you back then. So let's just give an example where somebody was losing money in the business and you shifted their focus and now they're making money.
Yeah, I think oftentimes visionaries, they're so passionate about what they do. They love what they do, and they don't realize how maybe they could be stifling the growth by being in the weeds that aren't they're really well suited for them, or zigzagging and changing the priorities more frequently than maybe the operational team can get traction. So when we come in, it's opening up the hood. It's like let's use real estate, since your audience knows that very well. If you're going to buy a fixer upper, right? You're going to go in and see, okay, does the plumbing still good? Like, is that salvageable? Can we keep the plumbing? Is the walls and the structure good? No mold, no nothing. We don't need to make any modifications there. Okay, that's good. All right, electrical, we need to make some adjustments. Carpet, we need to tear out. We need new paint. You kind of evaluate what it looks like. And then all of a sudden it's put back together and you can raise the rent and put a better quality tenant in there. The same thing happens in business, where a visionary ends up in this chaotic mess and they're not generating enough capital because they can't put a good tenants in because the structure isn't there. So once you get the structure right and it's all cleaned up, you raise the prices and you put better talent in, and then you scale faster and more revenue is generated.
I love it. I would love it. I do want to ask you then, in the whole scheme of things, I always say marketing and sales are the engines to any business. If the train is going to leave the station, there has to be that engine that's fueling revenues with customers and everything. So share with us, like, how do you take it in the third stage, in the operation stage? But
well, so we do it a little bit in parallel. So most visionary entrepreneurs, the really, really successful visionary entrepreneurs, are wired towards sales and marketing. They love the sales and marketing side. They like talking to people. They like negotiating big deals, developing strategic relationships. Really strong visionary entrepreneurs are wired that way. What hinders growth is when they want to do that, but they also want to be in the weeds. And so what we do is we actually say, okay, we're going to clean up all the weeds, but we want you to go fill the pipeline. So we redirect their focus to go get on podcasts, go develop strategic relationships, go source deals, go look at things, keep you busy out of the weeds while we get it cleaned up. And then by the time we have it cleaned up, the pipeline is coming through to the clean side of the operations, and we're able to monetize.
I love it. I totally love it. The whole thing which you're sharing, and I'm an engineer, mechanical engineer. I can totally see, physically, it's so true. The visionaries, the CEOs and all, they're, talking to customers and looking at all that, but they are not good in systems. They are not. And that's where the trouble falls apart. Growth, very instantaneous growth is bad. And also, when you are not able to hold on to the talents, that's the other factor, because they just cannot hold on. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And the revolving door happens when the visionary entrepreneur is focused on sales and marketing and growth, but the infrastructure isn't there. And the people are just feeling overwhelmed. They can't keep up. They don't know what needs to happen. And at some point, if support isn't coming, they throw up their arms and they're like, I can't do a good job for you, so I've got to move on. And they could care, they could want to do it, but if this infrastructure is not there, they're not set up for success.
Oh my gosh, you just hit the nail on the head. I mean, the customers, delighting the customer, we call it, right? Who's our avatar, and we get them in. But now if they don't have the good systems to really take care of them, right? They're going to not be happy. Right. They lose. They don't want to tell other people. They'll tell bad things about your business rather than good things, right? I heard that. I think good people, they tell 4 people more about you if they have good experience. But if they have bad experience, they tell 13 people about you.
Exactly. It's true.
Many years back, I remember that, but it's so true. I also permeates to everybody listening to me that when, like, I raise millions of dollars now, but always when I look at the customer, one investor, I never look at one investor. Right. I look at 20 times behind it because they have such a big following in back of everybody, which they will be able to bring it to you if they're delighted.
Yes. Well, you're only like one good idea, one relationship away from a complete transformation in your business or life. And you never know where that idea is going to come from or who that person is going to be. And so you have to treat everyone with respect and delight them. And you also have to put yourself out there and in rooms to make those connections and generate those ideas, because you never know where they're going to come from.
So true. So very true. No bad idea. Again, I also say that you have to see the noise, the fluff, and the dust. And you need to really put down your priorities, right?
Yes.
And delegate. Prioritizing and delegation. Vision. Be a visionary. Live life with no fear. I always say that to myself and everything. I'll be 71 in August.
You look great. You look so good. I think it's because you're so happy.
Thank you. Bless your heart. I really believe that. I think positivity has been my main thing. Everybody says I smile a lot and everything, but the positive attitude takes you so many places. People want to talk to you. They want to see what's this guy up to, and that just tells you so much about it. And the energy you emit. And your body then starts feeling it, and they say, boy, I want to be in this body for a longer time. Metaphor. I do want to tell everybody listening to us, remember, a lot of us spend so much time in our life with the things they never did, the problems they had and everything. We spend
Yes, wherever you are, be there and be passionate about it. Yes.
Be there. So tell me more about what kind of apps you are using, or, read books you're reading, and, what can you add to the audience? And how is your service? I want you to, kind of share also how people can reach you and all too. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am definitely of the belief less is more.
Yes.
So I think that there are so many tools and technology and resources out there, and sometimes it can be so overwhelming to know which one to choose, what to implement in your business to help you scale and grow faster. So we definitely have the belief that less is more. And just like in real estate too, every tool could work, but the tool has a specific function and it needs to be applied to that specific function. And there needs to be a methodology. So without the methodology, it's hard to implement. So we focus a lot on just what's the vision? Where do you want to go? Okay. Then we build the essential infrastructure based on the vision with a methodology for where they want to scale to. And then that allows the infrastructure to be stable as the growth happens. And the infrastructure could look different, but a lot of it just in business is a customer relationship system. So you are tracking all of your relationships. You have a website, you have social media, you have communication, email marketing, you have if you're syndicating and raising capital for deals, you have your investor portal. Sure. And so it's just a handful of things that you need. And if you set them up properly, they can be integrated, which makes it even easier. And you have an engineering background, so you know this. And then it just streamlines things. So you automate as much as you can, and then what you can't, and what you shouldn't, it's a relationship business. So you want to have those relationships. So you don't want to forfeit that. But as much as you can automate and you can delegate, to your point, then it allows the visionary to live in their sweet spot of talking with people, making deals, and then they can walk around all day looking as happy as you because they're doing what they love.
Stacy, you're so right about it. A lot of time we clobber our days. I remember Stephen Covey's example. I was watching him and with a lot of people on the stage. He put this jar of, like a jar with, he started putting all the pebbles and small stone, all that, and then, gravel and then water. And it just filled the whole thing. He said, oh my gosh, I forgot these 4 rocks. I couldn't put it. I should have put those 4 rocks in first. He tried to put it rocks, everything spilled and everything, and he couldn't put it in. Then he said, let me go other way around. He brought another jar on the stage. I remember. Then he put the big rocks in first.
Yes.
And then gravel, then sand, then water, everything perfectly fit and everything. Yes. He says, that's exactly what we need to do with our time that we have, to use the time wisely, being the visionaries and the CEOs with the clients and with brokers and others, not to really be, spending time in the emails and this and what, what I mean? The non-productive activities,
We call those big rocks. There are 3 to 5 priorities.
Yes.
So what are the 3 to 5 main priorities that have to get done in the next 90 days? And we run the 90-day cycles. And what's going to happen? What are those 3 to 5? It doesn't mean that nothing else is getting done. It means that we are focusing on these, and then all of the recurring items, the sand, the pebbles, the water, are still happening. But the big things that are really moving the needle and knocking down the most dominoes need to have the best energy, the best resources, and the best attention in order to get you ahead. Otherwise, you're going to spend your whole life and your entire business doing sand work, not rock moving work.
So true. So true. I was just doing the abundance mindset. I do every morning. Thursday mornings at 9, live show, 14, 16 channels. And then I do Vini and Bo show, 14, 16 channels on Friday mornings, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. The key thing is sharpening the saw, what you're saying also. Stephen Covey came to my mind right there, where he says all these woodpecker, right? They were cutting trees, and the young man was just chopping. And at the end of the day, the more experienced one was taking some time out every hour and sharpening the saw.
Yes.
And by doing that, it was amazing that he cut twice as many trees. Yes. And that's what is in our business too, isn't it?
Yes, it is so true. And it's visionaries don't like that. What you're really describing is the slow down to go faster.
Yeah.
And
yes,
most visionaries don't like to do that. We want everything done yesterday. We want to grind. We think people are robots and they don't need to have a break and everything can just drive hard. And that's just not the reality of it at all. No. And if you're really in it for the long haul with your business, you can still have sprints, 90-day sprints where you're working hard and you're driving hard and you're launching something. That's not going to go away. But you also have to know you can't do everything all the time. And you have to step back to make sure that you're doing the right things and the equipment and tools and people that you're surrounding yourself with are sharp so that what you are doing is actually moving the needle.
I love it. this is so nice. How can people reach you, Stacy?
Yeah. I actually have a free report for your audience on going over deeper into the three-step process for how to scale your business, architect, build, operate. And they can send an email to scale at organizedtoscale.com to get a copy of it.
Awesome. We'll put the link, down below. And no, I really want to thank you for coming on the show and giving all this great knowledge and everything. Appreciate that. I know each and everybody's trying to build our businesses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, but we got to have the right scalability, like Stacy talked about in this episode, to take you to the next level. So that you can live, a healthy life, happy life, and to be able to accomplish all the goals that you have set out for you. Because the memories are made when we are spending time with the family, vacations, charities, all those things. But the key thing is the business needs to take care of itself. And to grow big times, you need Stacy right there. Thank you so much, Stacy. It was such a pleasure. Thank you again, for joining Vini Chopra this week on this podcast. And please subscribe, share, give comments, and give 5-star rating if you can on iTunes, because that really helps a lot for us to bring great guests. And also iTunes raises our rankings up. And I hope you have been very happy with Vini Chopra and team, who are able to bring great information. If you would like to invest with us, please go ahead and go to vinichopra.com/invest. Thanks again. God bless you.